Nice. Do it again. Take her teeth. We are starting the video. Heyyyo. Welcome to the only YouTube channel that is powered by an alien spaceship way up there. In Canada. So I saw a video on my recommendeds for a little interview, I guess, or little talk, and they're just shooting the shit. Really, this is what it looks more like. They're just shooting the shit. They got all of these books are in here the wrong way. I think it's because these guys are scary directors. And this is just like slightly off-putting, you feel me? Like it's just not normal. It's visual dissidence, right? Visual dissidence, something like that. It's doing a great job with in the black on black with the coffee. With the coffee, that's the same contrast as a lot of these books. It's looking good over there. Coffee matches his jacket. We're in style, full style in this video. I don't know what Mike Flanagan has directed. What the fuck has Mike Flanagan directed? Dr. Sleep. I slept during that movie. Oculus, I did not watch it. Ouija, have not seen it. These are... Oh, Gerald's Game was pretty good. Gerald's Game was actually really solid. If you're looking for a movie to genuinely kind of fuck you up, Gerald's Game is a good one to jump into. Haunting of Hill House, that's wonderful. If you like horror stuff and you haven't seen Haunting of Hill House, you're just late. You're just late. And that's okay. It's okay to be late, especially when the entire series is on Netflix and you can watch it at any time and just binge it all in one day. You're going to want to. As soon as you watch it, you're going to want to binge it in one day. Make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're eating, okay? Binge safely. Guillermo del Toro. We like him. He's doing the new Pinocchio stop motion film. He did Waterboy, Mysterious Waterboy, and French Lover. He did the Evil Dead remake. I think that was like 2015, 2012. He also did Pan's Labyrinth, right? Which is just so good. Guillermo del Toro is fire. Oh, it's called The Shape of Water. Pacific Rim, apparently, he directed or produced or whatever. I guess hot take, I really fucked with Pacific Rim. I thought it was cool. I got what I came for. If you turned on Pacific Rim, and the reason you slapped that DVD in the DVD player or hit the play button on your whatever app you're streaming it from, if the reason you did that was for robot fights, was for giant robot fights, then you're going in there with the correct state of mind. He did fucking Antlers too, Antlers was sick. I don't care what anybody says. I haven't seen any reviews. I haven't seen anybody talking bad on it. But if anybody does, no, you're wrong. Antlers was good. It was really good. Maybe we can peer into these men's mind holes. We can peer into these men's mind holes, and we can see about learning some stuff, picking something up, something to take from it, and try to incorporate that on our own AAA titles that we are directing right now. One being Carpool Tunnel that I'm directing with Stephen King right now. Go check my TikTok for more on that one.
Flanagan.
He's wearing a Guillermo del Toro shirt.
Yes.
In Halloween, Cabinet of Curiosities and the Midnight Club. So let's start with you. Are you basing the stories on things you read, or are they all original?
It's all based on the writings of Christopher Pike.
Mm-hmm.
And these are books I'm reading in 5th or 6th grade.
Oh, that's the one.
I don't know who that is. But Vladimir, not Vladimir. Oh, good God. I almost said Putin. God, fuck me. But Ivan the Terrible, they're so similar. Ivan the Terrible would put people's heads on pikes. I don't know that author at all, but I do know that about pikes.
Yes.
Yeah, and so he had written this book called The Midnight Club, which was about a bunch of terminally ill teenagers in a hospice.
Yes, yes.
That is not the club I want to go to. You can uninvite me from this hangout session. I mean, nothing against the kid. I don't want to sound weird about terminally ill children. That's weird, but I don't want to. No, they're not weird. It's weird for me to be weird about that. Okay, let's just rewind. That's a club I'm bringing cookies to, and not at midnight. Not at midnight, but I mean, if one of them called me at midnight.
So I thought there was a great chance to do a format that was both an anthology series, but also had this kind of strong A story to it. That's this through line.
Which is beautiful, the thread.
That is a cool idea. That is actually a really dope idea. We like that. There's a continuity within the main piece here, which we don't always get in these kinds of story movies.
That was the thing I said is I'm far more comfortable protecting others than even protecting myself.
Guillermo. Yo, he's a man. That's a man, bro. That's a beautiful human being, dude. He's kind of hot too. It's kind of hot too. I'm trying to get held by Guillermo, dude.
For Cabinet, and you have, is it 8 different filmmakers?
Yeah, 8 different filmmakers. 2 of the stories I wrote.
Wait, so they're both doing the exact same thing? I don't dislike this kind of action. Like, I'm a Doctor Who fan, so I'm very, very used to different directors jumping in on the same project, different stories coming from different minds, different approaches. It's cool. We like that. It really makes for a dynamic series.
And I remember the birds murmuring in the sky when I was a kid, because normally the myth is birds carry the souls of the dead.
Wow, I've simply never heard of that. I've not even once. He's from a different culture. But I've never heard anybody say birds carry the souls of the dead. All of them? Is it all of them? Like, do each one just have a different? How does that work? Do some have like multiple souls, and do they hunger for them? Is this part of nutrients for birds? Are newborn birds just dead souls getting put into a bird? Is that reincarnation? Do they know? I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions about this theory.
It was a cacophony coming out of recording the birds. You heard a ghost.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's creepy.
And the other one was Lot 36, which occurred to me when I lost a storage. They sent the bill to the wrong address.
Okay.
And they sold all my storage.
Oh, that sucks.
And what if somebody buys a storage and there's something in there that shouldn't be seen?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a cool concept brought up by something that happened to him in real life. Also, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, but you don't call it the Cabinet of Horrors or the Cabinet of Terror or anything like that.
The cabinet where grandma keeps her china. Don't fuck with that cabinet, dude. Don't even look at that cabinet for too long. Don't even think about that cabinet in grandma's presence. She'll know she's attacking. Beware of the cabinet where grandma keeps her good china.
Thing is, I have done very few horror movies.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested in the aesthetics, but not in the mechanics.
Right.
That's something that I have a hard time explaining.
Okay.
Curiosity is the most beautiful thing in fantasy. Mm-hmm. If you can acquire the state of a child.
We like that. We like that a lot.
We were both scared children.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I peed often in my crib.
Yeah.
That's how scared I was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I still do that. Every night when my oldest cat, Bob-chan, tucks me into my crib. I pee a lot.
Being terrified of getting up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. What was your biggest fear as a child?
My biggest fear as a child was being alone in the dark, being by myself without any support. That was a crippling fear.
I understand that.
What was your biggest fear as a child?
Okay, that's like a very one that's very natural, one that comes, I think, for anyone, and it's right at the core of that one. So that makes sense. He must have not watched a lot of horror movies. as a child, if that was the biggest fear.
I had a recurring dream that it's still my entire filmography, because for me, filmography is biography, right?
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
Basically, I dreamt that my father went into a train, and I realized that it was the train of the dead, and that he was going to go to the other world, and I ran into the train, and I said, Dad, don't go. And I said, can I go with you?
Okay.
Wow.
And I went. In the dream, I went with him. And to this day is a monumental fear I had. Then
Wow.
I realized it was the moment it came when I lost my father. But what I love about horror is it brings
Dang.
the world to you. And horror is a shrine to imperfection and tells you it's
Rest in
okay
power,
to be a
Papa
monster.
Guillermo.
We are all monsters.
Papa
at the
del
end of
Toro.
the day. Can we live with that?
Nice. Do it again. Take her teeth. Story time. I had a reoccurring dream when I was a youngin', when I was a baby. For a while, I had a reoccurring dream. So I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. And in this, I just think that's important for the story. In this dream, it's very basic, right? It's just a desert. Everything is just a desert. And this is a movie, right? It's like, imagine a movie. It's just nothing but fucking desert. It's nighttime, right? The moon providing light. In the middle of this desert, there is a single slot machine. This slot machine has, one of those big neon signs or whatever, not neon signs, but the signs with the light bulbs on them, right? That goes all real high up there. There's a dude on that slot machine, playing on that slot machine. He's got he's bald, completely bald. He's a bit chubby. He's got tighty whities and a white beater on, right? That's what he's wearing at this slot machine. He's just staring at the slot machine, and the camera is like slowly zooming in on his back. We never see his face. Camera zooming in on his back. It gets really close, right? The sign moves out of the top of the sign moves out of the picture. It's very slow, a little bit dreadful. You start to hear the slot machine a bit more while you're getting closer, and then it's just a Kruger hand. Just a Kruger hand goes over his shoulder, and then I wake up. I had that dream for quite a while. I was very scared of that dream. Not really even scary, but fear is not always explainable.
Gradually, the more I exposed myself to horror, to horror literature, and then to television and movies, I was getting a little braver in these small, controllable increments.
Yeah.
And I started to think the reason I love horror is
Wuss.
because
He's
as
a
a
wuss.
kid who was scared,
You were scared.
yeah, I learned how to be
Yeah.
braver. I had these little bursts of exercise in courage. And
Okay.
it started to make me look at the world a little different. Because if I could carry myself through whatever courage I had to summon to make it to the end of it,
All right.
to make it to the end of a particularly scary movie, if I could carry just a fraction of that out into real life.
We like that. That's kind of deep. I also love horror and horror films and horror art. I don't think it's all that deep for me. I have been watching horror films since I was a very young child. As my older sister, she's about 10 years older than me, so she was all edgy and cool. She was cool as fuck when I was growing up, and she really liked horror films. So I watched a lot of horror films with her, and my family just liked watching horror films together. I learned that I think it's cool when monsters look really cool. I also I learned that I enjoy that activation of fear. How before the movie started, you weren't worrying about how dark the kitchen was or the hallway to the bathroom. But after the movie had started, the fear clicked on, that change in state of mind. And that's what I found out I really enjoyed that from horror films.
You spend enough time around enough of it and it changes you genetically.
One of the things that I think is so interesting about horror
Genetically?
is that it can be such an effective mirror. It can be something.
It is a mirror.
Yeah, and force us to kind of have that moment, that end of life moment, early and in a controlled, safe space where we.
Go watch Peeping Tom. It's a classic. Go watch it. Go watch it. Speaking of mirror, go watch Peeping Tom.
And I'd love to ask you on that note, what of your work is the most frightening to you?
All of them. I mean, I people think I don't mean it, but even something as commercial as Blade 2, the story of Nomak is my story. And I wrote Nomak as the hero of the movie. There's a simple rule that I found to be truth after 50.
Yo, shouts out Wesley. Blade was fucking lit. All of them. All of them. Blade was so sick.
Hatred and fear are mirrors. Love is windows. Every time you hate somebody, it's a mirror. Every time you fear somebody, it's a mirror.
Guillermo is a beautiful human being. Holy shit. He's very cool. I thought we were going to come away from this being like, all right, they're psychos. Nope.
What do you say to people who come to you and say, I don't like horror?
You can never make someone jump onto a roller coaster if they don't like roller coasters.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's horror is a roller coaster, and there's certain horror that is a roller coaster.
It's a good way to think about it.
That is a poetic landscape, and it's a painting.
Speaking of beautiful horror movies, go watch Inferno. I think it's 1988. Go watch it. Just go watch it. If you want to see bright colors, beautiful story, and feel like you've been going through a fever dream for the last hour and a half, it's a great fever dream though. Wonderful iconic fever dream. Go watch Inferno.
The best horror for me is the one where you come in feeling you're gonna be afraid and you end up crying.
Yeah.
And you end up being moving.
Speaking of going in feeling like you're going to be afraid and you end up crying, this one's going to be a little bit more popular. Go watch Hereditary. Go watch Hereditary. You go in thinking you're going to be horrified. You will cry. You will cry hard. It's so human. Wonderful movie. Modern legend.
As a child, would identify very much with the vampire because this was a character that was lonely. This is a character that was alone, and that was what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Mike Flanagan, he might be a psycho. Mike Flanagan actually might be a psycho.
You are one of the most famous celebrators of books and literature.
Yeah.
And you have a collection of books that is intimidating, impressive, and beautiful.
I haven't read a book in so
To
long.
me, it's Frankenstein. There are about 10 or 12 characters in literature that are universal. Even people that haven't read the book know the characters.
Right.
And one of them, he said Pinocchio, Dracula, Sherlock Holmes, Tarzan, Frankenstein. And he kept going for a little bit, but he's one of those. And those are the big alphabet of the language of humanity.
Can I ask
Big
you,
Bambino.
is there a chance that we will see Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein?
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Oh, sick.
I think
If anybody could do a re-Frankenstein and do it really sick, it's gonna be Guillermo, dude. He is sick. He's really good with the imagery and just the ambiance. I'm ready to see that. Start working on that now. Somebody call Guillermo. Tell him, Mr. Del Toro, we have a mission for you. Okay, so that was kind of sick. That was kind of dope. Those guys were cute. Those cute guys. Those guys are so cute.